Michael J. Fox is saying goodbye to his wife. Michael J. Fox is a name that spells laughter, adventure, and grit. Better known for his lead role in the trilogy of Back to the Future as Marty McFly, Fox has entertained millions for decades through his wit and charm. Behind the charisma, however, lies a personal battle that has resonated with millions. His recent announcement to step back from public life has touched many fans. But before getting into that, let's take a look at his early life and career. Early life and career of Michael J. Fox. Born Michael Andrew Fox, Michael J. Fox was born on June 9, 1961, in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, into a family that contributed so much to his future in Hollywood. As the fourth out of 5 siblings, Fox was brought up by William Fox, a veteran of the Canadian Forces who later became a police dispatcher, and Phyllis Fox, a payroll clerk with an affection for acting. His mother's interest in the performing arts deeply influenced Michael's early fascination with acting. However, the family's frequent relocations, due to William's military service, exposed Michael to diverse experiences, with the family eventually settling in Vancouver when he was about 10 years old. Michael had many interests as he was growing up. For example, when he was 8 years old, he was given a guitar for Christmas and could follow his interest in music among other hobbies as he grew up. As he grew up, his interest in music became subordinate to the development of his acting. Poor academics and challenges in height, particularly in sports like ice hockey, pushed him towards drama, whereby he found his passion and skill for acting. At age 15, Fox landed an acting role in the Canadian television series Leo and Me, which catapulted him into a life he would lead after that. Encouraged by early success, he decided to leave high school to take up acting full-time, a very questioned option by his teachers. But this only fueled Fox's determination to make it big in show business as he set his eyes on Hollywood. In 1979, at just 18 years old, Fox moved to Los Angeles with his father to pursue acting on a larger scale. The early years were not easy. For a long time, he was out of work and without enough money. During this time, Fox called his life his macaroni days because cheap meals were all he could afford. However, these guest roles in TV movies and series such as Palmerstown, USA, and Letters from Frank managed to keep his hopes alive until he got a breakthrough. Since there was already an actor named Michael Fox, he decided to choose Michael J. Fox as a stage name. He chose the letter J as a tribute to Michael J. Pollard. His big break came in the year 1982 when he was cast as Alex P. Keaton in the hit sitcom Family Ties. This would be his breakout role, in which he would portray his comedic skill and be universally recognized. Fox played the grasping conservative teen that most audiences loved. This role helped him secure several Emmy Awards and a Golden Globe, which further cemented his teen idol status. Success on television soon led to film opportunities for Fox. In 1985, he was cast as the title character in the box office hit Teen Wolf. Later that year, he was cast as Marty McFly in the blockbuster Back to the Future, directed by Robert Zemeckis. In the film, Fox played the role of a time-traveling teenager who becomes the parent of his parents. The film emerged as an all-out cultural phenomenon and grossed more than $380 million worldwide. With his leading performance, Fox was now considered an A-list actor, and the character of Marty McFly became iconic as Fox went on to film 2 more sequels. Following the success of Back to the Future, Fox continued balancing both television and film work. He acted in films such as Peter Jackson's The Frighteners, a horror comedy released in 1996, and such romantic comedies as Doc Hollywood in 1991 and For Love or Money in 1993. On television, he was back in the limelight once more in the sitcom Spin City between 1996 and 2002. His ability to blend humor with heartfelt moments made him a beloved figure on screen. Fox has been showered with awards throughout the years for his talent. He won 4 Golden Globe Awards and 2 Screen Actors Guild Awards for Comedy Series Actor. In 2010, he also received a Grammy Award for Best Spoken Word Album for his memoir, Always Looking Up, reflecting his continued influence both in and outside of entertainment. In 2022, Fox was honored with this prestigious award for his significant contributions to Parkinson's disease research, having raised over $1 billion through his foundation. Also in 2010, he was appointed an Officer of the Order of Canada for his achievements and humanitarian service. Later on, he was inducted into Canada's Walk of Fame in 2000 and Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2002 for his services to the entertainment industry. Beyond television, he has stretched his acting talents to several films, which included Casualties of War, The American President, and Mars Attacks. But Fox is talented even more so off-screen. He did the voice of the unforgettable Stuart Little in the animation film series, and his work with the arts received a Lifetime Artistic Achievement Award given by the Governor-General's Performing Arts Awards in Canada. His huge career has been recognized with the Horzu Magazine Golden Camera Award and the National Association of Broadcasters Distinguished Service Award. Apart from acting and philanthropy, Fox is also a very successful author. His 3 renowned memoirs are Lucky Man, Always Looking Up, and No Time Like the Future, which give a considerable recount of his life and philosophy. He has given wisdom to graduates in the audiobook A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Future, and received a Grammy Award for the audiobook Always Looking Up. Talking about his net worth, Fox has built a net worth estimated between $65 million to $70 million as a reward for the long-lasting career path he chose and strategic investments. For example, he earned $500,000 for the first Back to the Future film, which would have been approximately $1.4 million today, and $5 million for each of the 2 sequels. Besides this, Fox has invested hugely in real estate, owning properties in highly sought-after locations. He primarily lives in a luxurious Manhattan apartment, with a long, steady residence in Quogue, New York, which he had bought in 2008 for $6.3 million and sold in 2021 for $6.1 million. At one point, he had a big estate in New England that was listed for $4.3 million back in 2016. Besides being fond of beautiful houses, Fox has also been noted to have an eye for cars with his collection of high-end brands Mercedes, Jaguar, and Alfa Romeo. This tells something about his personal liking and financial capability to invest in a collection that may not be possible for every other person. Diverse streams of income, such as acting, writing, and investments, place him well for continued financial stability. Through his acting, advocacy, and philanthropy, Fox has become an icon of hope and perseverance, inspiring millions worldwide. Career challenges faced by Fox. Despite such achievements, Fox found it tough to cope with the extreme level of fame he received during the 1980s. He admitted that since he was a semi-popular kid growing up, the sudden bout of fame and attention from girls was so alien to him that he didn't have the necessary defense mechanisms to handle it. The excesses that accompany fame, such as heavy drinking, began seriously to ruin his relationships, marriage, and work. Adding to the challenge Fox faced was how to balance several high-profile projects at the same time. In 1985, he was filming the popular sitcom Family Ties while working on the blockbuster film Back to the Future. The amount of work and stress to be successful on both platforms was very exhausting, physically and mentally. Despite that, Fox's talent, sense of humor, and resilience helped him to pass the pressures of a famous life. He continued to work hard, honing his acting skills and collaborating with other brilliant actors. Tragic Parkinson's disease diagnosis. But his life drastically changed in 1991 at the age of 29 while he was filming the movie Doc Hollywood when he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. He felt a tremor in his pinky finger that prompted him to see a neurologist. At the time of his diagnosis, Fox kept his condition a secret for several years. Parkinson's disease affects the nervous system and those parts of the body controlled by nerves. Symptoms develop gradually and may begin with a slight shaking or tremor, most often in one hand, slight stiffness or rigidity in the arms or legs, or a slowing of movement. The exact cause of Parkinson's is yet not known. It is believed, however, that genetic as well as environmental factors are at play. Fox did a few things to conceal his Parkinson's symptoms on set, particularly in the hottest primes of his career, with him still tackling the initial stages of his life. During filming, Fox would often hide the tremors in his hands by holding on to things. That would include everything from props to shoving his hands in his pocket, as if the simple action would hide these kinds of involuntary movements brought about by Parkinson's. He confessed that the cover-up many times aggravated his symptoms because he genuinely felt compelled to act as though everything was normal and to keep going. He said, "I was still me, people recognized. Just me plus Parkinson's." Fox also employed distraction techniques to manage his symptoms. He said he would get so into his parts that concentration on his performance would serve to temporarily distract attention from physical problems. He felt the energy of acting, and the protection provided by his co-stars gave him a cushion from the symptoms he was experiencing. This engagement allowed him to maintain a sense of normalcy and professionalism on set, even as he faced increasing difficulties due to the disease. For a few years, Fox kept his diagnosis secret and dealt with denial over the seriousness of his condition. He felt that if he told anyone about his illness, it would jeopardize his career and public image. This denial led him to keep his symptoms hidden for the first period, not only from the public, but even from close friends and family. It was not until he was no longer able to hide the effects of Parkinson's that he decided to make the diagnosis public in 1998 while working on Spin City. Fox went public with his diagnosis in a People magazine cover story. His doctor at first told him he was likely to be functional for another decade, possibly into old age. But more than a quarter of a century after his diagnosis, Fox has beaten the prognosis. After making his public announcement, he realized he didn't have to hide anymore, and he continued to act in such guest roles as in the series The Good Wife from 2010 to 2016, playing a slick attorney with Parkinson's, showing how his personal experiences can be intertwined into his work. Over time, symptoms worsened to a point where he started scaling back on work, but one could still find him doing guest stars in some series such as Boston Legal, The Good Wife, and Designated Survivor. Besides that, Fox also had to deal with other difficulties, such as remembering the lines and playing the roles physically. In an interview he did in 2022, he mentioned that because of these struggles, he had to take a step back from acting, saying, "It was this legal stuff and I just couldn't get it. But what was refreshing was I didn't panic. I didn't freak out. I just went, well, that's that, moving on." The diagnosis has surely altered the way Fox lives. He is said to have fallen down, and on occasion this results in the breaking of bones. He broke his face, elbow, and hand. Apart from this, he went through surgery for a benign tumor that was interfering with his walking ability. Through it all, he still manages to take on life with a somewhat optimistic outlook and remains grateful nevertheless. History of substance abuse. Challenges faced by Fox. Fox's substance abuse is intertwined with his Parkinson's disease diagnosis. He spoke candidly in his documentary, Still a Michael J. Fox Movie, about how the diagnosis had led him to take up a not-so-healthy relationship with alcohol and prescription medications. After diagnosis, Fox was in utter emotional turmoil, and his future seemed so unsure. He first resorted to taking dopamine pills excessively to handle symptoms like Parkinson's tremors. He described this behavior as taking the pills like Halloween Smarties, which clarified that what he was after was a compulsive need to mask his symptoms, not use them for therapeutic purposes. He said, "Therapeutic value, comfort of these were the reasons I took these pills. There was only one reason, to hide." As it sank in that he did have Parkinson's, Fox took to the bottle. He recalled how he'd drink heavily, like 4 glasses of wine and maybe a shot, with his admission of being definitely an alcoholic. A couple of years went by in this fashion, filled with denial and depression. He eventually spoke of his diagnosis publicly in 1998. The substance abuse greatly affected Fox's personal and professional life. He says, "It was screwing up my relationships and screwing up my marriage and screwing up my work." Stressors from trying to maintain his career amidst the onset of Parkinson's further led to alcohol and drug use. He described the early years of sobriety as particularly difficult, saying, "As low as alcohol had brought me, abstinence would bring me lower. I could no longer escape myself." These, however, did not deter Fox. who found the will to pursue being sober through the encouragement of his wife, Tracy Pollan, and their 4 children. He celebrated 30 years of being sober and credited his family for getting him through his rehabilitation process. Sobriety for Fox was painful, but it also put him in a position where he had to get real about his condition. You can't pretend at home that you don't have Parkinson's because you're just there with it. The Michael J. Fox Foundation. Despite all the huge challenges, Fox never gave up and instead chose to be positive about life. This transition of thinking helped him to come to terms with his Parkinson's identity and channel his energies more fruitfully into his advocacy work through the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research. The foundation was started in 2000 as a nonprofit, tax-exempt organization dedicated to finding a cure for Parkinson's disease. It provides direct grants to the scientists most likely to find a cure, thus closer control and supervision of projects than typical medical research foundations could follow. The foundation was founded on Fox's Parkinson's disease diagnosis. His acceptance of his condition has deeply positively impacted those in the Parkinson's community. Indeed, he has vocalized research support and took his platform to increase awareness of the disease. To date, it has raised close to $2 billion in its quest for a cure. In 2006, it was the largest private funder of research into Parkinson's, according to The Guardian. In 2023, it had raised $2 billion for projects in the area of Parkinson's research. According to Town & Country, in 2022, the organization funded more Parkinson's research than the U.S. government. According to Fox Business, it is the largest nonprofit funder of Parkinson's research in the world. Funded by the organization, the 2023 longitudinal study entitled the Parkinson's Progression Markers Initiative has just released its results in Lancet Neurology, showing that the neurodegenerative disorder of Parkinson's can be detected through the presence of a biomarker protein, abnormal alpha-synuclein. It may be detectable even before the symptoms manifest, a breakthrough in Parkinson's research. It also hosts Fox Trial Finder, a tool that displays Parkinson's disease research clinical trials. The website connects patients with research opportunities and furthers the quest for a cure. Love Story with Tracy Pollan. On a personal note, Michael J. Fox and Tracy Pollan have one of the most striking love stories which has lasted for more than 3 decades and are amongst Hollywood's most loved couples. Tracy Jo Pollan was born on June 22, 1960 on Long Island, New York, to Corinne Elaine Corky Pollan, a magazine editor, and Stephen Michael Pollan, a financial consultant cum writer. She was raised in Woodbury, New York. Of Russian Jewish ancestry, she attended Syosset High School before graduating from the highly acclaimed Dalton School in Manhattan. She furthered her education in acting at the Herbert Berghof Studio and the Lee Strasberg Institute, where she developed her skills. Pollan started acting during the early 1980s and appeared in such films as Baby It's You, 1983, and Bright Lights, Big City, 1988. Her breakthrough came in 1985 when she was cast as Ellen Reed, the girlfriend of Alex P. Keaton, which was Michael J. Fox's character in the popular sitcom Family Ties. From 1985 through to 1987, Pollan appeared in several episodes of this sitcom. Her role as Ellen made quite an impact not just on TV, but also on Fox himself. While there were a bunch of notable acting roles for Pollan thereafter, including Harper Anderson in Law & Order Special Victims Unit, 2000, and Renee Miller in Spin City, 1997 to 1998, her work moved beyond acting. In 2014, she co-authored a cookbook, The Pollan Family Table, along with her mother and sisters, sharing family recipes, kitchen tips, and cooking techniques. Fox and Pollan first met on the set of Family Ties in 1985, in which they played on-screen love interests. Neither was available at the time. Both were involved with other people, so their connection remained purely professional. But fate brought them together again 2 years later in 1987 on the set of Bright Lights, Big City. Their chemistry soon took a romantic turn. After 7 months of dating, they became engaged. And on July 16, 1988, they married in Woodstock, Vermont. Fox and Pollan have built a strong and ongoing marriage of over 36 years, raising 4 children: Sam, Aquina, Skylar, and Esme. The family has always been a cornerstone in their relationship, bringing them not only joy but also strength during hard times. Fox often speaks about his family being the center of his life because the best moments of his life revolve around them. Pollan has also spoken of them all being close-knit, even saying they are an us against the world, touting how strong their love and support are for each other. Diagnosed in 1991 with Parkinson's disease, Michael J. Fox has had his wife, Tracy Pollan, with him through thick and thin. Fox has openly discussed the challenges he faces due to his condition and appreciates the support from Pollan. He speaks frequently about their wedding vows, in sickness and in health, being part of their bond that has remained intact. He describes Pollan as an incredible partner, loyal in droves through his journey. Their relationship, tempered with mutual respect and understanding, is what has kept both in each other's arms. They are especially known to proclaim their love with sweet messages on anniversaries and other special dates, and July 2024 was no different, as they celebrated their 36-year marriage. As far as his personal relationship, Pollan has been a vocal influence where Parkinson's research is concerned and has supported Fox through the Michael J. Fox Foundation. Fox family support. Fox's family support, however, certainly doesn't stop at his wife. Being the youngest of 5 siblings, he is attached to his siblings, Kelly, Karen, Jackie, and Stephen. The Fox children grew up in a very encouraging Canadian family, and therefore developed their creativity and determination. Kelly is an actress who has appeared in several series, including The Good Doctor. She has been one of the most influential supporters of Michael's career and personal life. While Karen and Jackie kept their lives quite private, Stephen continued the family trend in the arts as an actor and musician. The Fox family dynamics doubtless helped in shaping Michael's life and career. The siblings have continued to stay close and support each other through successes. When Michael finally broke through in the 1980s with Family Ties, his family was thrust into the limelight. Thus, they share pride in one another's accomplishments. The family tie has been particularly evident since Michael's diagnosis with Parkinson's disease in 1991. His siblings have given necessary emotional support as he has faced complexities with the disease. He has termed this support network priceless, and has even spoken of his family's importance in his life. Together, they have rallied behind Michael's efforts to advocate, supporting the Michael J. Fox Foundation in its mission to find a cure for Parkinson's. Familial support has remained a substantial part of Michael J. Fox's battle with Parkinson's disease since his diagnosis back in 1991. With siblings offering emotional support during the juggling of the then perplexing illness, there was reason to note that the Fox family did join in support of Michael's cause in the search for a cure through the Michael J. Fox Foundation. Fox support for policy changes. Beyond even just family support, Fox has grown into an outspoken advocate for policy changes that could hasten the pace of research in Parkinson's disease. His diagnosis sparked a passion for political activism, particularly in the area of stem cell research. Feeling this research would be key to changing treatments, Fox took to politics in the hope of swaying policy. Everything changed in 2006 when Fox starred in a high-profile political commercial on behalf of Claire McCaskill's Senate campaign. His emotional appeal, set against the scientific promise of stem cell research, resonated with millions. Sharing his personal struggles, Fox turned a complex scientific issue into a relatable human story that galvanized support for policies impacting countless lives. Fox's campaign appearances significantly increased his public visibility. While he had already publicly supported the candidacy of John Kerry during the presidential election of 2004, this set of campaign appearances was much more proximate and personal. Fox aligned himself with candidates who were staunch supporters of stem cell research as a means to rally grassroots support and effect legislation in favor of this pressing issue. This greater political exposure necessarily led to criticism. The obvious and overt conservative critics, including Rush Limbaugh, criticized Fox for hyping his symptoms as a means of gaining political advantage. Fox protested loudly against these allegations, pointing out that over-medication was one of the causing factors in making his Parkinson's appear as it did during these appearances. He insisted that the goal was to show that medical research is something that needs urgent bipartisan support, not partisan politics. Fox has long held that the key to besting Parkinson's lies in the power of collaboration. As he says, when the cure is found, and it will be, it won't be because of any single individual or our foundation. It will be because of all of us, working together. The Michael J. Fox Foundation has brought researchers, clinicians, and advocates together in accelerated pursuit of a cure. Beyond raising money, Fox has become one of the most outspoken public figures in taking awareness about Parkinson's disease into the limelight. He has been interviewed on countless programs, documentaries, and public speaking events regarding his personal experiences and realities throughout his life with the disease. His recently released documentary, Still, digs into his life, career, and ongoing fight with Parkinson's and offers insight into the challenges he faces and his unrelenting optimism. Fox's determination to research and advocate is very personal and fueled by the knowledge of the disease. He is also quick to speak of the emotional and physical trials he faces and of his attitude. The positivity is really sincere. I feel it, and it's genuine, but it's hard-fought, saying how resilience and hope are important in the face of adversity. Fox in his collaboration with Nike. The Fox-Nike collaboration marked a serious turning point in the fight against Parkinson's disease. It raised a lot of money for the Michael J. Fox Foundation and also brought the level of public awareness regarding the condition to a different level altogether. The Nike Mag shoes appearing in Back to the Future Part 2 have been the cornerstone of Fox's deal with Nike. From a state-of-the-art concept, they have been immortalized in the psyche of the public mind since their on-screen appearance. Nike and Fox seized an opportunity to use the cultural phenomenon for a good cause. Hence, their creative collaboration was born. In 2011, a limited line of Nike Mag was released, and proceeds from the auction went to the Michael J. Fox Foundation. The reaction was immense. 1,500 pairs were auctioned on eBay, bringing in an incredible $4.7 million toward Parkinson's research. Building on that success, Nike and the Foundation launched another iteration of the campaign in 2016 with a self-lacing version of the Nike Mag. This time, the general public was allowed to participate in an online drawing, with each entrant required to make a $10 donation for an opportunity to win a pair. The innovative approach generated an impressive $6.75 million, taking the total from these Nike collaborations to more than $16 million. Fox's active participation in popularizing the 2016 Nike Mag draw was actually what brought about its success. This publicized eagerness and heartfelt thanks for the backing by Nike have created such hype, besides encouraging a wider audience to contribute more to the cause. By leveraging his celebrity status, Fox turned the campaign into a compelling platform to raise awareness about Parkinson's disease. The millions raised through these Nike collaborations have been a game-changer for the Michael J. Fox Foundation. These funds powered life-changing research, instilled hope in countless patients, and nudged the scientific community closer to a cure. It is this determination on the part of the Foundation, matched by the financial resources provided via partnerships like that with Nike, that so well embodies the power of public-private partnerships in conquering the most confounding health puzzles. The fact that he has continued to be active in advocacy and philanthropy should keep him at the forefront for years to come, whether in the entertainment industry or in contributing to Parkinson's research. What do you think about Michael J. Fox's Parkinson's disease? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time.